Hello and welcome to the Minimum Competence episode for Thursday, March 13th, 2025. I'm your host for today, Andrew Leahy, a tax and technology attorney from New Jersey. On today's episode, we cover French publishers suing Meta over AI training, the Trump administration revoking $20 billion in climate funds, and mass layoffs at the U.S. Department of Education. Let's remember, freedom lies in being bold, and read today's legal news. On this day in legal history, March 13th, 1925, the Tennessee General Assembly passed the Butler Act, a law prohibiting public school teachers from denying the biblical account of creation and from teaching evolution. The law reflected growing tensions between religious fundamentalism and modern science in the early 20th century America. Although the statute faced little opposition in the legislature, it soon became the center of national controversy. The American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, sought to challenge the law and found a willing participant in John T. Scopes, a high school teacher in Dayton, Tennessee. Scopes was arrested for teaching evolution and put on trial in July of 1925 in what became known as the Scopes monkey trial. The trial drew national attention, featuring a courtroom showdown between famed defense attorney Clarence Darrow and three-time presidential candidate William Jennings Bryan, who argued for the prosecution. Though Scopes was found guilty and fined $100, the case exposed deep cultural divisions in the United States, and the verdict was later overturned on a technicality. But the Butler Act remained in effect until 1967. The case paved the way for future legal battles over academic freedom and the separation of church and state in public education. French publishers and authors have filed a lawsuit against Meta, accusing the tech giant of using copyrighted content without permission to train its AI models. The National Publishing Union, or SNE, the National Union of Authors and Composers, or SNAC, and the Society of Men of Letters, SGDL, allege that Meta engaged in large-scale copyright infringement and economic parasitism. This marks the first such lawsuit in France against an AI company, though similar cases have emerged in the U.S., where Meta faces lawsuits from authors, including Sarah Silverman and Christopher Farnsworth. Other AI firms, such as OpenAI, are also facing legal challenges in multiple countries over data used to train their models. The French associations argue that Meta's actions amount to monumental looting and see the case as a critical battle for copyright protection in the AI era. Meta has not yet responded to the allegations. The Trump administration has revoked $20 billion in funding for greenhouse gas reduction projects, a move criticized by climate advocates and Democrats as an illegal seizure of funds intended for clean energy and disadvantaged communities. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin defended the decision, citing concerns over fraud, waste, and mismanagement, though no specific details were provided. The U.S. Justice Department and FBI are now reviewing the program. The funds were originally allocated through the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act under President Biden to support pollution reduction projects. Under Trump, the EPA has sought to halt climate-related funding, aligning with broader efforts to scale back environmental initiatives. The agency has not clarified how it plans to reallocate the funds. In response, the advocacy group Climate United Fund has sued the EPA and Citibank, arguing that withholding the funds violates a legally binding agreement. The lawsuit represents one of the first major legal battles over the Biden-era climate policies under the new administration. The U.S. Department of Education has announced plans to lay off nearly half its staff, potentially setting the stage for its complete elimination as part of President Trump's broader effort to downsize the federal government. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon confirmed the move aligns with Trump's mandate to dismantle the department, which manages student loans and enforces civil rights laws in schools. The layoffs are part of a wider restructuring effort led by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, which has already cut over 100,000 federal jobs and halted numerous programs. While the administration argues these cuts reduce government waste, critics, including unions representing affected workers, condemn them as reckless and legally questionable. Many agencies, including the Office of Personnel Management and the Social Security Administration, have offered early retirement buyouts to meet Trump's cost-cutting demands. However, lawsuits challenging these mass layoffs are mounting, with concerns over legality and disruption to essential government functions. And with that, and as always, I thank you so much for listening to Minimum Competence, your daily news podcast for lawyers. If you're looking for more than Minimum Competence, links to further reading on all the topics touched on today are in the show notes. And reviews go a long way towards helping new listeners to find our show. If you have a moment and can leave a rating or review on your podcast player, we'd sure appreciate it. And if you know someone that might be interested in a story we cover, consider sending them the episode. But remember, nothing here should be construed as legal advice because it is never that. Minimum Competence is available at minimumcomp.com and wherever you get your finely crafted podcasts. If you haven't checked out the website in a while, give it a look. There are complete transcripts and resources for each episode and its corresponding segments, as well as an opportunity to receive new episodes in email, newsletter, form. We'll see you back here tomorrow, and until then, remember, don't ever take down a fence until you know why it was put up.